What's going on, YouTube? Today is November 21st, 2025. Something happened Tuesday. Today's what, Friday? Yeah, Friday. Something happened Tuesday. Never thought about this in stacking. New stacking challenge. We're going to get into that. Metals. Gold. $4,066.41. Down $12.64. Silver $50.09, down 67 cents. Platinum $15.25.40, up $2.65. Palladium $13.97.08, down $3.93. Gold to silver ratio 81:18, according to CMI. Nothing in this video is financial advice. Do your own research, form your own opinions. Here's one picture of what happened. See that? It's one of my ARs. Good times. It's also my lever action. And the mag won't drop. And it won't charge. So it's stuck like that until I can get it to the gunsmith. So that was the second part of my day. The reason I took that AR is because I have two safes, and I've been talking about buying a third for some time, and that time is coming very quickly, and here's why. Couldn't get into my good safe on Tuesday. Started calling locksmiths, starting to get quotes, emails, and I really tried to get into it Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I finally got into it Thursday. And here's what happened. That safe is so full that something fell against the door when it was closed and put so much pressure on the bolts that they wouldn't release. I had to work very hard at taking pressure off, I guess you would say, of the door while I got the bolts to release. And I did. And I lubed up the bolts and the lock mechanism and all that. This being my bigger safe, it works fine now. This being my bigger safe, that's unacceptable. So I'm going to buy a third safe so that, you'll see that prospector, so that that doesn't happen again. And this happens to be my better safe of the two. It's relatively high security. And I can't tell you, I had no need to get to my stack during this time. I had no need, well, other than when I wanted to take them out, to get to my weapons that were in that safe at the time. But it is an absolutely frustrating and uncomfortable feeling when you can't get to those items. Because then at least my mind started doing the what ifs, right? And then when one of my ARs broke, I still had the AK. But when one of my ARs broke, and all of my pistols were in the better safe except for the one on my hip, you start thinking, what if I need one of the ARs? What if something happens? What if my everyday carry handgun goes down and I can't get to my others? Because they're all in the one safe. So I'm going to start keeping stuff. I'm going to change up, have a little more variety between what I keep in both safes, and then the third as well when I get it, which is going to be very soon. But food for thought. Not a good feeling. Seems that Marjorie Taylor Greene has announced her resignation, effective, I believe, January 5th of next year. It's very curious to me. It seems that all the things she's been pushing for lately are going to come to fruition, maybe. And it's a very curious time for her to do this to me. I align pretty well with her. I think she's a pretty fundamental Republican. Makes me wonder if she was threatened. If she has, if she has plans for maybe a higher office. Very interesting, very curious. Anyway, back to the silver and the gold. By the way, this comes from Hero. Thank you, Hero. I have one more order on the way from them. And I cannot imagine having my bullion stored off site. And just knowing I couldn't get to it if I wanted to or needed to. And it was on site. It bothered me. Bothered me a lot. I'm fortunate that I don't have to pay a gunsmith, a locksmith or a safe specialist to come out and get me in. You know, I was gonna have them come out, get into it and repair the problem. God only knows what that would have cost, how long that would have taken. So, food for thought. I'm big on, like I said, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, form your own opinions. I am not a financial advisor, but I've always been big on, having my stack in my hands. You know, we talk a lot in this community about if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And I'm not saying there's bad vaulting services out there. I mean, there's some. Definitely wouldn't do a safe deposit box like ever for metals, but I want to hold my stack. I want to be the sole proprietary owner of my stack. You know, I like the allodial title. I like the assets outside the system in my possession. And that means I want to hold them. And it was a very, very bad feeling. Yet again, silver went below 50 yesterday. I think the last 2 days. And we're still above 50. Gold might have dipped below 4 grand. I don't remember. It came close. Now we're closer to 4,100 again. Metals are telling us something. This was not a 1 week or 10-day spike in price where we lost all the gains. I think things are different. I think times are different. You know, I long said, when silver gets to 25 and holds, that's a good sign. When it gets to 30 and holds for a period of time, that's a good sign. And then 35. And I didn't really get to talk too much about that after 35 because it didn't take it long to go from there to 50 and hold, and I did it. It's been a very incredible time. Very exciting. And I'm going to continue to stack. And yawn, apparently. Wow, sorry, y'all. I'm going to continue to stack all I can, while I can, for as long as I can. Gold, silver, platinum. Going to have to stop for a little bit, apparently. I need to buy another safe. I also have 2 firearms to buy before March, because then I won't be able to without a permit to purchase where I live, which I don't think is going to be the forever thing, but, you know, it's that whole game of blue states pulling this crap, and then it goes to the Supreme Court, eventually gets struck down and gets put on hold, and they reword it and do it again. It's a waste of money, a waste of time. So, got some goals I have to do in a short amount of time, and I'll do that. So, stacking may slow down a little bit. Who knows? I might get a wild hair at my butt and double my workload, double my time, and make more money and keep stacking and do the other things like nothing happened. We'll see. I've been known to do that. That being said, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's get this channel to 3,000 subscribers, please. It's my Christmas wish. And whatever you do, keep stacking.